Good morning.
Welcome to Cake News. I'm Elise Skirman.
And I'm Kevin Moss. Today we have received new information on the Gulf of Tonkin resolution,
We also have more information about the Kent State protest that shocked the nation.
along with an exclusive interview with the woman from the Pulitzer Prize winning photo, Mary Ann Vecchio.
Stay tuned after this short break.
5 minutes till we're on air.
Refreshing.
Buy a Coke and support the troops.
Breaking news: today's President Lyndon B. Johnson was given the authority by the United States government to put into place the Gulf of Tonkin resolution.
The resolution gives the president unlimited power to oppose communism at any cost. This decision is in response to the Gulf of Tonkin incident that took place on August 2, 1964, when North Vietnamese boats attacked the USS Maddox in the Gulf of Tonkin.
This is believed to launch the U.S. into the involvement in the Vietnam War.
The Gulf of Tonkin is pictured here.
As you can see, the Gulf of Tonkin is to the left of Hue and to the right of Vietnam.
Today, we are going to have an exclusive interview with someone who was actually at the Kent State protest. Please welcome Mary Ann Vecchio.
Hello, it's so good to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you here. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm sorry. Well, I'm a 14-year-old runaway from the Miami area. My family immigrated from Italy, and we have lived in Florida ever since.
Why were you at the Kent State protests?
Well, first of all, I believe that entering the Vietnam War was a major mistake. And then to have the war expanding into Cambodia, where many more people would be affected, I knew I had to fight for what I believed in. So I attended the Kent State protest to fight against the bombing in Cambodia.
Do you believe the protest was illegal?
Well, I do not believe the protest was legal. There was no formal statement made that made it clear to the public that they could not protest.
Interesting. How did you feel after the Ohio State National Guard shot those 4 people?
When I heard the first shot go off, I was in shock. Then when I saw Jeffrey Miller on the ground, dead, I just screamed for help. I was paralyzed. I couldn't believe what had happened. I mean, yeah, the protest was getting a little out of hand, but they took very drastic measures.
Thank you for your take on what happened. It was an honor to meet you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you for having me.
War always brings strong mixed feelings to the nation.
This war has brought stronger opinions and protests than any war before it.
First of all, at Kent State University in Ohio, students were protesting the U.S.'s spread of the war in Cambodia.
Students had set fires to a building and slashed firemen's hoses. The National Guard was sent to keep order on the campus. There was also curfew placed on the students, and they were banned from holding protests anymore.
On the second day of the National Guard being present, students threw rocks at them and told them to leave. One guardsman began firing at the crowd that they had formed.
After the fire ceased, 4 students were found dead and 9 others were wounded.
2 of the students who died, who were part of the protests, another student had been shown leaving when he was shot. The last student was only walking to her next class when she was shot.
This isn't the first protest, and certainly won't be the last. Hopefully, it will remain as the most violent protest.
You know the day destroys the night, night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, yeah. We chased our pleasures here, dug our treasures there, but can you still recall the time we cried, break on through to the other side?
To wrap everything together, the events, Gulf of Tonkin resolution, and the Kent State protest both relate in many ways. First, the government gave the president, who is the top executive, way too much power. Then the president made a couple questionable decisions. on which many people were not too happy about. Then, as expected, when someone makes a debatable call, there are going to be protests following this action. This is where the Kent State protest comes into play. Students at Kent State were protesting. They were met by the National Guard when open fire started, and 4 students died.
To answer your second question, to answer your second
Communism
question.
at any cost.
Why? Okay.
Both relate. I forgot to.
Thank you for watching Cake News, and have a good night.